Hello everyone. If you haven't seen the recent update video, I will put a card, well not a card, but like a picture here.
Where Ace is looking.
Look, where Ace is looking, like over here. So if you haven't seen the recent update video, that is what's up with the channel at the moment. So go and watch that. I won't really delve much into it right now, but me and Judy are, quite frankly, we want to do other versions of content. One video we are working on and we think you guys will quite enjoy it. It's very different from what we're used to, so we hope you enjoy that. Hello Ace, this is our little visitor Ace, little cutie. And we'll start the video. Today's about why Brazil looks like 5 different countries, by Monsieur Z.
Alright, so I'll let you know. Ace, you want to say hi? You recording the screen too?
Not yet, no.
Okay. Ace just wanted to make an appearance.
I know he did.
Hey, Ace makes the best content.
He does, everyone likes it.
Oh, who can't like Ace? Make sure my phone's on silent for you. Drop the phone. You know your phone goes off during the video runs it, so you got to have the phone.
Oh yeah, sure. Anyway, 3, 2, 1.
It's time to break down the regions of Brazil. Okay. After having covered the cultural regions of the United States, China, India, and Russia in previous videos,
I see some future videos.
I know.
By popular demand, it's time to give Brazil a shot. Brazil is another geographically large and highly populated country with a wide array of diversity in regional cultures, lifestyles, geographies, and economics. All in one language, Portuguese. Holy smokes, that's more linguistic homogeneity than any of the countries we've covered before. That's a monolingual culture right there. Looking at Brazil at a glance, I estimate that there were approximately 5 major regions, and both online charts and my on-the-ground contact supported this. I did some digging and found that, generally speaking, this map is a pretty fair breakdown of Brazil's regions. However, all of the region maps I found online only went on a state-by-state basis, and this is something that a couple countries have a problem with, not India though, where the country's subdivisions might not be well reflective of cultural and lifestyle differences, let alone economic and geographic differences. So we've taken all these factors and more into consideration and plotted some borders for Brazil's 5 major regions along with their respective subregions. Regions within regions that do share a lot of similarities with the larger region, but have some unique attributes of their own that help distinguish them, though not enough to justify considering them entirely separate regions of their own. Hello audience, Mr. Z here with another video for you. If you're new to the channel, welcome. We have videos like this every week where we talk about history and politics, so be sure to subscribe, leave us a comment about what you'd like to see next, and stay tuned for more. If you'd like to join the community, we do have a public Discord server linked in the description, along with a community-made subreddit loaded with memes, charts, maps, and more. And of course, if you'd like to help support the channel directly, consider becoming a channel member or donating to us on Patreon. Having dealt with censorship and demonetization in the past, especially when covering more sensitive topics, your support really goes a long way to keeping the channel going. All members do gain access to a separate members-only Discord server where you can speak with me directly. Now, let's get back to our regularly scheduled program. Let's begin with the economic and cultural nerve center of Brazil, the southeastern region, or as I call it, the greater São Paulo region.
We've heard that Sao Paulo is one of the biggest cities, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've heard that it's one of the biggest cities. It's also a part of the country where the Europeans spread to first.
Yeah,
correctly?
it did down there.
So that's where all the population's concentrated, really.
It's cool to see that they all speak the same language though.
99.5%.
Well, you don't see that anywhere.
They don't. That's insane. I thought in Japan you would.
You don't though.
But surely they would though.
But like, we went places and you know they weren't speaking Japanese, like some were speaking Chinese to us at one point.
No, I mean, a lot of them were speaking dialects of their areas, I believe.
Yeah, but then you had like all the tourism there and everything, so like no one's language is all the same. Like we were all speaking different things at some point. I swear in one store there was one guy speaking Portuguese, we're speaking English, the guy speaking Chinese, there's a guy speaking Japanese, there's someone speaking German from behind me, I know he was, and it's like, whoa, calm down.
Was it a Japanese guy speaking German?
No, it was that backpacker that like was always near us. We always ran into him randomly.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we met him on our first day when we were in
and then we met
in the metro.
all the time.
And we met him ever since. Bear in mind, he lives there.
For 6 months, he was there for 6 months.
He was there for 6 months. So I think he was on his final month. He said.
Yeah.
And even he didn't work out the metro system before we did.
I figured out the buses. Buses
I mean,
were easy.
guys, not to flex, but We figured it out.
It wasn't hard, but like the buses were hard for you.
Oh yeah.
I figured out the buses really quickly.
You don't need to tell them that. I mean,
You got us on the wrong bus stop twice.
I didn't.
We had to wait 4 hours for the next bus.
No, we didn't.
Highly urbanized, it is easily the most densely populated, wealthiest, and thoroughly developed of Brazil's regions, with a diverse economy featuring tech, trade, and heavy industry sectors, among others. In climate, this region is relatively mild when compared to the rest of Brazil, boasting a subtropical, coastal, and highland environment which gives it a greater degree of variety to its landscape.
See, this part of Brazil already looks different than most parts that we've seen on the videos.
Yeah, this is definitely more developed. Would you say? Because all the money's just been poured in.
Yeah,
that's
but
where
I
all
like
rich
the
people
little
live.
I like all the little old buildings everywhere though. The designs of the old buildings, the old little towns.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
If I'm going to Brazil, I ain't going here. I'm going to like the little towns.
Do you think crocodiles live in that?
I would hope not, but I mean I can't say they're not. I don't live there.
Beyond its urbanized areas,
That
this
was nice.
region sees its coast separated from the interior by the Serra do Mar mountain range, wooded by the Atlantic forest. Culturally, this region is a meeting point between the historically ethnic Portuguese north and the south, where immigrant waves from Germany, Italy, Poland, even Japan, and various other countries considered too alien to be assimilated into Portuguese culture were sent into what was then the frontier with the expectation that most wouldn't survive, while opening up the south to further Portuguese settlement. Though, of course, these immigrant
Don't they have a big Japanese population still?
Yeah, they got huge Japanese diaspora. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they still had the Japanese.
Yeah,
I was
diaspora.
like,
Yeah.
they're definitely still there.
Yeah. Portugal, Brazil have like a huge population Japanese. I'm pretty sure a lot. I think one of the other languages spoken is Japanese.
I was like, Japanese. They got
I don't know if it's an official language though.
I don't think it's official, but they have a big chunk of Japanese people there.
populations endured, making the South their own. The greater Sao Paulo region forms a cross-section of Brazilian identity in general, with noteworthy influences from not only the north and south, but from all regions of Brazil, and from abroad as well, the region being the foremost destination for tourists around the world, as well as foreign businesses. Insofar as subregions, I initially considered the divide to be between the coasts and the interior lands within the Planalto Paulista, separated by the Serra do Mar mountain range, and while that is true to a degree, a more accurate partition would be between north and south, where the south, the core region with a smaller sliver of coast, is dominated by the inland city of São Paulo and neighboring cities, while the north is more thoroughly defined by the coastal city of Rio de Janeiro and its coastal neighbors, constituting a slightly distinct subregion.
That's so gorgeous. See that skyline and that setting, the crystal blue water and everything, it's very beautiful and everything. But I'm not stupid enough not to know that literally behind that picture is one of the world's most dangerous places.
Yeah.
So I'm not stupid enough to be like, that is gorgeous. I wouldn't ever hope. I would love to walk up those mountains.
I mean, it's same thing happens like even where I'm from, New York. Is like everyone wants to go there. Everyone wants to go to New York, but like, do you know the history and the danger of New York?
Yeah, fair one actually. Same with everywhere else. London.
Like, I'm not want to admit that like my country is not a dangerous. Like, New York is dangerous.
I think
It wouldn't stop me from visiting a place though.
like I like people that try to upstage each other if they're from the most dangerous area, and it's like if you're from a war zone, you're from somewhere bigger, like most dangerous.
I feel like we all will have our own struggles growing up though, like where we're from.
Yeah, true.
Like, you may not have had to worry about guns where you're from, but you had to worry about knives where you're from.
True.
Just how it works.
The northeastern tip of Brazil, what I'd like to refer to as the Maranhão region, one of the original names for northern Brazil and the original European name for the Amazon River, was initially the only territory in South America that Portugal had claimed to by treaty, Spain having initially claimed the entire rest of the continent for itself.
Huge, yeah.
This region was the point of one of Portugal's earliest successful settlement efforts.
See, what confuses me is despite Spain owning like this half, it has absolutely no Spanish influence really. Unless the Portuguese culture is that strong.
You gotta think about the Portuguese would outwipe it, wouldn't it?
True, but they would still exist in some form.
Maybe.
Pernambuco or New Lusitania. The sugarcane economy of the Northeast eventually led Portugal to begin importing a large number of African slaves to the region, contributing to its future demographic makeup. Decades after its founding, Brazil had pursued a policy of intermarriage and mixture to assimilate both the native and African populations into a singular Portuguese-Brazilian identity which transcended racial boundaries, creating the core Portuguese-Brazilian Pardo or mixed population, and it would constitute the dominant population group across the north of the country, though this region also features a significant and largely unmixed black population concentrated along the region's southern coast. The vast majority of the region has a semi-arid and rocky scrub or even desert environment. However, we may not characterize this as the core of the region, but merely a sub-region, the sub-region of the Caatinga. I'm sure I'm probably mispronouncing a bunch of these, but look, I'm an American. What do you want me to do? While the rocky, deserty environment defines the majority of this landmass, the majority of the population is instead concentrated within the thin sliver of coastal plains due east. Though the coasts are littered with cities.
I was just gonna say floods or like
A storm.
storm or like storm.
Or is this just where people with very little money can afford?
Maybe it's a fishing town.
Maybe.
It looks like fishing boats. So very poor town then.
So beautiful. Look at that.
But you're gonna feel bad if it storms for them though. It's like, oh.
Yeah, it's got to be treacherous, especially if they go down here to the rocks to walk around.
They have very pretty buildings though.
They do. I like the colours.
You know, and I'm jealous. Brazil people go to capybaras in their country. That's where they're from.
What, capybaras?
They have an Amazon.
Cities and beaches, the Maranhão region is among Brazil's poorest, especially when considering its relatively higher levels of development compared to other low-income regions of Brazil. That being said, it also contains some of the highest concentrations of historical sites in all of Brazil, especially in the state of Bahia. As per its history with slavery, the agricultural crop of sugarcane and other tropical agriculture.
Specifically, I like this one.
I like the pink building.
This one, mixed with the blue.
Yeah, I love the colors.
As per its history with slavery, the agricultural
I'm gonna
crop
drive
of
my car
sugarcane
up
and other tropical
Nothing like
agricultural
half.
staples in general have remained the chief economic contribution of this
I think
region to
Steve would
Brazil's
struggle.
economy.
He would.
The lands of Brazil's deep south, or the Sul region, are the country's most temperate and mild, even receiving some snow here and there. Home to both a large swath of Brazil's Atlantic forest and pampa
okay,
landscape,
just
its
grassland.
geography is a combination of plains, hills, forests, and mountains. As stated previously, this region of Brazil is more distinctly composed of later waves of settlement not belonging to
Whoa.
Brazil's majority ethnic Portuguese
Looks
makeup,
very
but
Europe.
instead being largely comprised of German, Italian, and
German,
Slavic descended
yeah. They
populations.
look very German.
Unlike northern regions of Brazil where Portuguese culture was more dominant and intermixture was widely adopted, the Sul region is not nearly as racially mixed, both on account of it lacking a large non-white population to mix with, as well as a distinct sense of identity from the Portuguese-Brazilian culture, which had
So, okay, alright. So, just because I'm being a bit dumb right now, so down here is very white.
Yeah.
Like very
Where the
pale.
Germans, well, the Dutch were.
Like you're very, like,
Shouldn't say German.
the Brazilians down here are very pale.
Yeah, that's like the Dutch. Like there's Dutch there. Then up there is like the bustling city, and then up there is mainly like African population because there was the natives married the African slaves at the time, so they're more. That's that area.
Right, yeah.
So they're like the natives with African descent.
Such a big country.
largely adopted the policy in an attempt to assimilate non-Portuguese populations into
I'm sure
itself.
you can fit the UK
As a result,
into
the
that
Sul
one.
region is generally considered
To
to be
this
the
one.
whitest part of Brazil. The climate and geography make Brazil's deep south an ideal location for agriculture and one of the most agriculturally rich lands in all the country, especially when it comes to wheat, poultry, and pork production. In terms of per capita wealth, it's one of the wealthiest regions in all the country and one of the highest in terms of development in all of Brazil. Next is Brazil's interior, or the Planalto Central, which is defined by a highland savanna environment and a tropical climate. Colloquially referred to as the Cerrado, the grazing lands of the region make it ideal for cattle ranching, and the region does stand at the forefront of Brazil's beef production. In fact, it is the most agriculturally productive region in the entire country. However, while agriculture does constitute a major facet of the region's economy, what makes the region especially valuable and distinct from its neighbors is its tremendous mineral resources. Having some of the highest concentrations of iron, bauxite, and niobium in not only Brazil but in the entire world. Not to mention substantial deposits of gold, copper, and various gemstones. The region is somewhat developed, but the vast majority of that development is isolated to various communities spread out across this vast landmass with significant gaps.
That looks like the perfect type of, like, makeup. Having most of it grasslands and just a few towns and cities here and there. That just makes it sound nice. Like, I think they're just That's just
So most
perfect,
of Brazil's population then is like in the major cities then.
yeah, because most of it seems to be like jungle and grasslands.
Yeah.
So
most of it's not little areas.
And that is reflected in both
Rio,
population
obviously.
maps and in an observation of wealth, saying that per capita income is nowhere near what it is in more developed neighboring regions. This is perhaps the second most underdeveloped region in all of Brazil, with populations becoming more scarce the further inland you go. Ethnically, the Planalto Central is somewhat mixed, with some communities more reflective of the populations found deep in the south, and others more similar to what you would find in the north and east. Subregions include the Pantanal subregion, distinguished by its more sandy wetland environment and cross-border ties, and the Mato Grosso subregion, which is less characteristic of the savanna landscape, and is more of a transitional region between the interior and the tropical rainforests of the Amazon. Finally is the region of Amazonia, home to Brazil's famed rainforest and the highest concentration of the country's Amerindian population. The region is so sparsely populated and so underdeveloped that it even houses some tribes who have remained isolated and uncontacted to this day. As you might have assumed, the climate and landscape of the region are defined.
We spoke about it before. Remember the video we did on the cities that disappeared?
Yeah. There's probably people somewhere deep in the Amazon we don't know about because we can't get to it, but they can.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, they've got generations and generations in that land, haven't they?
Probably way back further than we can even think. I know the dinosaurs at that point for how long they've been there.
Yeah, cave paintings and stuff.
Yeah.
I know it sounds like I'm taking the piss out of them. I'm not.
I couldn't do it.
No, I'm not. I can't live that sort of lifestyle. Like,
so
props to them.
So Brazil is like, I'm not saying Brazil is not like developed, but like
it's definitely developed.
But like a lot of things aren't still developed there, and so most people live in like the major cities still.
Yeah.
Like on the coast, like on the one coast.
I think I saw somewhere it's a rapidly growing economy, but they still need to industrialize. That's what I saw somewhere, like read, that they're rapidly growing, like very quick, but they're still lagging behind it because the country's so big, you can't industrialize that quick. You can't.
And so people are just staying towards the cities, like the cities are.
Yeah, they're all like going towards the cities, like in Japan, where people are literally leaving their islands and hometowns just to go to this big city.
Everyone's migrating straight to Tokyo. And it's like, stop going.
The metropolitan area is huge. I don't think people understand how many people are there.
What was the last area we were in, like, for the longest time? That one area we were in for the longest time?
The museum?
That area is lovely. Like, go to somewhere like that. It was so underdeveloped. There was not that many people, and it was so nice.
I think what we realised in Japan, we didn't really see all the touristy areas.
No, big boy tourism.
We got a feel for what the people actually live like.
Like, we didn't visit the tourist areas.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, we didn't visit the tourist areas.
No, we didn't. No, we
usually were the only tourists there.
Yeah, I mean, we were the only. I can say, hand on my heart right now, we were the only white people in that area.
Because they were doing school and stuff, and it's like,
And then everyone's just seeing us going, oh my god, look, it's them, it's Gaijin. And I'm like, hi. Which means yes as well. It's like, quite confused. Anyway, let's carry on.
Defined as tropical with a rainforest environment. Though it is the least developed, most underpopulated, and least economically productive of Brazil's regions, its natural and largely unspoiled beauty make it a treasured region all on its own.
Absolutely.
And while it lacks the agricultural and industrial capacity of the interior and greater Sao Paulo regions, Amazonia is still a major provider of natural resources for the rest of Brazil, chiefly timber.
Also, if I look exhausted and I don't seem that much full of energy, we had an early start today.
Nice 5 a.m. wake up call.
Earlier, I woke up earlier.
I woke up at 4:30 when Ace smacked me in the head with my water bottle.
No, we woke up at 4:30 when I got up for the toilet.
Yeah, and I woke up because Ace whacked me in the skull with my water bottle, and it was this big boy. Pure metal. Right to the noggin.
Wake up.
And natural rubber. As stated previously, the region has largely been settled by the Pardo population commonly found across the north, with small communities and developments still emerging within the region, especially along the Amazon River and along the border with Peru. The one subregion of Amazonia would be the greater area surrounding the city of Belém, at the mouth of the Amazon River, and which forms something of a gateway into and out of the region, and many Amazonian goods can be expected to pass through here on their way to be shipped.
This is a city built
Although it
into
shares in much
the
the same tropical climate and even some of the forested environment found deeper within Amazonia, Belém is far more developed and densely populated than any other Amazonian settlement. Looking to the different regions of Brazil, it's really quite fascinating how much is...
aren't they?
They are.
They're all like different countries, like the United States and like the Russian Federation and that. India.
I mean, even your country, Frostmonis, has different areas. I'm sorry.
I know. But we would be tiny, tiny, tiny countries.
Yeah, but you still definitely speak and everything, do things different.
Is concentrated in two regions.
I'm very interested in the Amazonia area. I like how the city is built into the forest.
I like the wetlands
along the
because
river.
that's where cappies are.
Yeah.
Genuinely, Brazil could be nothing but the greater Sao Paulo region and the interior region. In these two regions, you have the greatest concentration of economic production, resource production. The Sul region is productive enough and self-sufficient enough that it theoretically could become its own country, and it does have a secessionist movement, though from what I hear, it supposedly isn't all too serious. That being said, if the Sul region were to become its own country, it would be almost insignificant on the world scene. In contrast, the northern territories would be extremely disadvantaged if they were to break away or just be separated from the greater Sao Paulo region and the interior, which just generally provide a lot for the country. Again, these two regions are basically carrying the entirety of Brazil on their shoulders. But let's not get off on a tangent there. Let me know what you think in the comments below, if there's anything I missed or anything that might need to be added, especially if you're from Brazil and have some personal insight into what some of these areas are like. We'd love to hear it. Like the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more. Mr. Z, out.
Please go and watch the original video uploader. It was a very informative video. We've thoroughly enjoyed it. Please go and like the original. Go and watch the original. It's their video, not ours. Thank you for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.
Toodles.
Let's go. Time to grind. Get inside your mind. Yeah, we